Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Disco Elysium Part 30. In the previous video we found where Ruby may be hiding and then we left and told Kim we'd talk to him tomorrow because they made it seem like it's the point of no return. I don't know if it actually is or not. You know, if it's one of those that's like, it's not actually the point of no return, but it's, you know, just some things might get canceled there. I don't know. I need, like, the game to pop up and have, like, an immersion breaking, text box that's like, hey, if you do something, this will cause the game to end. Or, you know, to start the end of the game. That's what I need. I need the Fallout New Vegas pop up before you do like the final mission when it's like, hey, if you talk to this person, the game will end in the next couple hours. That's what I need. But most games try and do it like kind of like ambiguously or like in a way that's like maintains the immersion. Nah, man. I don't need that because I psych myself out. I don't know, what are we doing? Hey, we're gonna go talk to Chickadee. But we need to get close enough to Fiest Travel. Travel Fiest. Yes. And granted, I don't even know if she's gonna be available. I didn't really think about this, but like, didn't she run away? How the hell do I go to my map? There we go, map. Like her door may be locked. Please be up there. Okay, she's up there. But she was up there last time. We couldn't, you know, but yesterday night before we had our official talk with her. Okay, cool. Alright, let's find out if we can learn anything. What do we want to keep? You think we'll need some authority? EB? Not the tape. I mean, I doubt we really anything. I don't even know what I'm saving. Alright.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
Alright, well first things first, now that Kim isn't here, let's talk about Sunday night.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you're a police officer.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of the first things I remember doing in Elysium.
Wow. Elysium. You don't hear that term often.
You don't say it like that. No one says Elysium. The hell? Disco Elysium?
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
Okay, did you hear something Sunday night from my room?
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
Any visitors?
I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo.
Loud disco music?
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them. We're huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Yeah, we go on alright.
I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace.
What happened?
A slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it.
Was I singing this? The smallest church in St. Sands?
Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also...
What else?
That it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
When you say wounded, you mean like in a cool way, like a wild beast?
Yes. It was very cool.
Yeah.
It's impossible to say whether she's being sarcastic or really means it.
I don't know if it's impossible to say that. Obviously, she's being sincere. Then what happened?
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
You sure I wasn't being assaulted?
No, it didn't sound like there was a fight.
We were being assaulted by
It
ourselves.
sounded like someone was trashing their room.
Our mind palace was breached.
A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Anything else?
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but
And we're changing our persona. Got it. We don't want to be whatever we were before.
I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. And that was it.
Thanks.
No problem, sir.
Well, by the by, why do I feel like you've won here?
I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir. All the time.
I think you're throwing a lot more sirs than normal.
She smiles, a bitter little smile. She means it.
It's turned out well for you. You've slipped past all suspicions.
Clearly, I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone, I mean?
The rain falls on her shoulders, tinting her blonde hair light brown. It smells of industrial pollution and brine.
I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for... I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility.
Something seems off about this theory I've developed about Ruby.
I don't know what to say.
It just seems very fortuitous for you.
None of this is fortuitous for me. Did I? Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me then? What I managed was to get him killed. I'm the love that does people in, remember?
What are you contained for?
For my sins, of course. The long-standing sins of a bad, frivolous person. For destroying my first love. For working for bad people. The list goes on and on.
Alright.
She nods, slowly, carefully even. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but dangerous.
So back to those lies you told.
Lies.
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us. We demand her anxiety. We demand her fear.
Okay. Now, I'm doing this like more of like a bluff. But what if we told you you're under arrest?
You almost say the words, then stop. The lieutenant is off somewhere, 28 kilometers from here. Probably reading the manual for incarceration. The one he knows how to use. Come back and say this, with Kim here. You can't handle it without him. She slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath, as if in the presence of some tiger.
Because really, I just want to see like her reaction to being told that she's under arrest. Because like we need to put her on the back foot. I feel like we haven't really been able to get her on the back foot. Hey, Kim, I know we're done, but like, can
The
I?
lieutenant's door is closed. No response. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Still, is he not worried that you haven't found the murder weapon yet? Doesn't he want to go for a little drive? Anything to not face the hanged disco man yet.
How about the tune Coon whistled? Coon? Kim whistled on the swing set?
You hear the sound of a drawer closing, followed by the shuffling of feet.
I don't really know what we're doing here, but
Is that you, Harry? What time is it?
I don't think we've been able to interact with this door in the past, right?
No, thou art God.
Yeah, it's Gart, manager of this fair cafeteria.
Very funny. What do you want?
I wanted to go over the case again.
Yes, that's a good idea. Let's do it.
Bro, it's 10 o'clock.
You know, when we are not sleeping.
Why are you going to bed
Sleep
so early?
is what he needs most right now.
I know I
Good
told you
night,
to.
Harry.
Oh. Oh, we got an achievement. I think, yeah. Why does it look so weird? Oh, maybe because like I'm like offline mode, because on Steam. I don't know why that would change. I don't know. Just the appearance look weird. I guess we can go try and do. You know anything about the murder weapon?
Hi again, Gendarme. Bye-bye, Gendarme.
You know anything about the murder weapon? All about money, you know. Yeah, right. Well, wait. We could try and talk to. You know anything about
The
guns?
Copper-nado is back. What
Hey,
do
we've been
you
upgraded.
want?
We used to be a clown, now we're a copper-nado. Okay. About that complex operation out of Ruby's lore, I think it's tied to another case I'm working.
Nope. Next question.
Okay. I want to go over a few things regarding Ruby's disappearance.
Yeah. What?
Okay. Thanks.
Anything?
I'm
No,
scanning.
no.
He understood what you were doing, taking inventory of them. Now watch the other guys fuck it up by falling out of line.
Yeah, you fuck with the
Yeah, I
hot.
think we've
Yes.
seen this all.
Relax,
Ready.
Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
Use it to take a dig at his friend.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down.
Let Dennis enjoy his fucking, man.
This one,
Yeah.
Easy, Phil.
Okay.
too late. You already got a pretty good picture of.
Fucking say something.
Alright. Well, maybe we could ask him about the murder weapon. Monica's titties are big. Who the hell is this Monica? Where is she at? Wait, that's my car? Kim, your car's gone. Is it supposed to be gone? Hey, Kuno, you know anything about guns?
Fuck does Kuno care? Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't fuck.
There are several. Sitting at a desk, Lieutenant Kitsuragi fiddles with a pen, then writes something on the paper in front of him. He shouldn't be doing that. He should be here discussing the footprints.
Okay. And they really don't let you do shit when you're by yourself.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Kid?
What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than squeal.
Get the fuck out of here.
The trash container. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
Anything new in there? Any new treasures?
The container sounds a muffled gong.
Guess we're gonna try and open the ice cream machine. I feel like we're just gonna have to roll high. Forehead. My solution to all of life's woes, just roll high. Pry bar. Physical instrument. Tank top, and I think that's pretty much it. But you gotta go through and check. I'm 85% sure this is our only source of physical instrument. Because that's minus.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric turning the crank feels it's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur. Ice squeaks beneath your Kavalzun multi-tool. but your fingers slip away from the tool and it's already unplugged. There's not much else to do other than wait for it to defrost or bulk up and get stronger.
I already waited a long time.
A few bricks have fallen off.
Does this
It
mean
means
a rifle
there are
here?
firearms, front loaders, still lying around Martinez. This would have been good in our case against Ruby for Titus. Too late for that now, but still might be useful down the road. This is a good find. Really just inside a secret.
Oh, maybe because we sold the rifle? Like we could have used the rifle as like some point in the conversation, but
The bear's eyes are still glowing red.
I don't know if there's anything else we can do. So we don't have a skill point, right? No. Need like a little bit more XP. Can't do that. Find the murder weapon. Working firearm. Yeah, working. Working firearm. Yeah, talk to pawn shop guy, maybe? What about mercenary dude? Think he'll talk to us? He's maybe not even here anymore. Yeah, he's not. Wheel? What if we can look at the lorry again?
This found the smell of there's something odd about the passenger seat.
Peel off the cover.
Seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Peel off the cover.
Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric.
That was not there earlier,
see
right?
three maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Open the topmost map.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock, and this person knows them all. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881, high above the massive brown and red roofs that is Jamrock. The commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield.
Where does the road lead?
To Couronne, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road.
Any second map?
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the 41st precinct. No storm will ever drown Revachol. The great solution to the riddle of history.
Yeah, sure, whatever you say, sir. Third map?
The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake. These service tunnels were probably used during the construction of the foundation beneath the motorway. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East Motor Tract.
The smugglers have infiltrated the motor tract?
The cluttered cabin of the abandoned lorry offers no reply. If only Lieutenant Kitsuragi were here to help you piece together the evidence.
Hey, I get it. I can't do shit without Kim. Which, I mean... a little... I didn't realize I'd be that restricted on him, or without him. Oh, okay. It actually just said, so it's just Union and cryptozoology stuff. Might end when you do. Okay, so it's not an actual complete point of no return. Why is the thing there? Okay. Yeah, I can't run. Oh, is it hitting caps lock that caused that? Yeah. Okay, so that it was that there was something wrong. Do you know anything about guns, Measurehead?
Your raised descent has temporarily halted, but you will.
No. Okay, so there was something that was causing us to like permanent walk several videos ago. Must have accidentally hit caps lock instead of tab. Now, why you would want to walk here? I guess for like your immersion, maybe. But yeah, I forgot about this thing. What was it? It was rhetoric. Yeah, we've probably increased our rhetoric since the last mess with this.
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything,
yeah, I completely forgot about this. This could have something to do with the gun. Hey there, sugar.
The container door appears unmoved by your attempt at flattery. A tough nut to crack for sure, but the strongest containers often have the softest hearts.
Come on, don't shut me out. Let me in.
The door does not respond to your advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow more closed than before?
Okay, rhetoric. We got tons of stuff to give rhetoric. So many things that give rhetoric. All the things that give rhetoric. It's... I feel like we have no clothes that do anything. All of our clothes are lies. Is that really it? We have one source of rhetoric? That just feels unlikely. Would you just equip?
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened. No, the knot produces a hollow ring. You attempt to turn the handle to no avail.
Roll high.
The doors see. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because getting physical wasn't an option.
You've got to dance with the one that brought you, detective.
Need physical instrument, any rhetoric, or any You know anything about guns?
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all.
I want to ask you about something.
Doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys.
This is Edgar
Who do
guy.
you want to talk? Mr. Edgar is Mr. Everett's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does, but a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
Tell me about Manana.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him.
I mean, he's pretty cool.
Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Who the hell's Renee?
The night guard.
Oh, that guy.
He's a peculiar fellow. He's the strong, silent type, you could say. We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin, down at the plaza. I think he's the only fellow who actually knows old Renee. They lived on the same street their entire lives. Even dated the same girl on and off for as long as I can remember. Strange fellows. Mr. Martin was always real nice to me in school. I remember once.
He was your human studies teacher?
Mr. Martin, yes.
Hey, okay, I got some XP.
Don't really remember much about him. I was just a boy back then.
What, Everett?
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
Think about Titus.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is.
What about Measurehead?
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some Union men. Heh, I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that. Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you?
We got some XP.
Yes, of course. Now we're on the right track.
Oh, he's gone.
It smells like we're getting crates and pallets calling to mind. Vast stands of winter pines. A swirl of ancient odors absorbed by heavy carpet fibers. But also a pervasive, treacly sweetness that somehow reminds you of cola nuts. The whole place could probably use a good deep cleaning, you think. Meanwhile, Everard Clare clatters away on his typewriter, willfully indifferent to your presence.
I don't see him. Do you see him? Allegedly he's there, but I guess we waited too long. No, I guess we just go to fucking bed then. Ah, what the hell? Trying to click and I clicked on the thing. Can I fast travel from in here? No, God. I really needed a Union fast travel. That would have been pretty pog. Guess we call it. Who's in here?
The file cabinet stands
Oh, yeah,
withdrawals.
Trying to think. Anywhere else guns could be. You know, we never actually, you know, we got that quest to go open the door, and then we didn't open the door. We never went into that area. We could go investigate there. And I don't really know what to do for the cryptozoologist thing. I think we're just gonna have to take the L on finding the Insulindian Phasmid.
There it is again. There's a spectral scent haunting this pair, no doubt. And it smells like sea brine mostly, because it's a pair. Years of turmoil, of hopes and dreams, ground beneath the inexorable tides of capital.
I can kind of smell dreams being ground down by capital.
Without a doubt. Your politico-olfactory cortex doesn't deceive you. The smell is coming from that balcony over there.
You mean Cindy?
Certainement. A precocious communist youth. A symbol of a kinder, more hopeful future. Now's your chance to establish contact with your revolutionary brothers and sisters.
I thought she was gonna throw paint on me.
A chance to establish contact with the future. What a beautiful, terrible thought.
This lady over here? Presumably no. Into the village on the coast. Huh. I haven't seen her. Anything about guns?
Give me a moment.
College guy here? I guess that could be Cindy's room. We don't really know where she lives. Maybe she's the secret communist. It's not that. Ooh. 16 days of coldest April.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Alright, is that bed in the coal room yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Not the nicest place, but I guess I'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
Don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
If there's pain about any particular home she's lost, she's buried it deep, fortified herself against it.
You're a miner?
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens.
Okay, I got other questions.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Pissy boy, it's in their best?
I don't believe it. I've never known those boys to have manners.
The bemusement in her voice doesn't fully mask genuine tenderness.
They seem to hold you in high esteem?
They'll never be skulls, but their hearts are in the right place.
Can I be a skull?
Fat chance. But you can still do your part to revitalize the neighborhood.
Okay.
She throws you a conspiratorial glance, then presses her finger to her lips and squints up at the sky, as though straining to hear something in the distance.
Have you noticed the quiet? Every so often, you might hear a gunshot pierce the air somewhere in Jamrock. But in Martinez, no gunshots, no sirens. The people are languishing in boredom and complacency.
I was gonna shoot my gun in the air.
This place is a sepulchre. We'll paint it red. We bring the raucous. You bring the sirens.
She's making a valiant effort to come off as a nihilist, but she's really just an angry little commie. No wonder she was talking about the streets flowing red. That's what happened during the revolution.
So what's it like being a skull and a communist?
You got me, pig shit. I don't make for a very good skull. I like
Almost got
animals
the
too
level
much.
up.
Simians and pigs. But I'm still gonna write some damn good graffiti-o on this wall.
Her voice sounds different when she speaks this candidly. Older somehow.
Okay, let's talk politics.
And what do you know about politics?
Okay. First things first. I'm searching for a bunch of mole people.
Pigs and moles, eh? Sounds like something out of a children's fairy story.
It's very serious.
Oh, did I hurt the very serious pig's feelings? Whatever. I know someone who's into some pretty underground stuff. You're looking for Steban.
Who's Steban?
A right communist who runs a mega cool and very secret meeting.
Apparently I have a white jacket.
He might.
You help me find him?
No.
Come on, from one communist to another.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, comrade.
I'll help. But first, I want something from you.
It sounds awful capitalist of you.
A wicked grin extends across her face. A laughing skull. Death hilarious. This is gonna be bad.
Oink for me, piggy. Just once.
Alright, oink oink.
Wow, that was easier than I expected. It's almost like you've been wanting to do it this whole time.
A cool, damp feeling ripples through you. You realize you needn't have rolled over quite so easily.
Yeah, whatever, it's fine. We'll just do some magnesium.
Sounds like you're really serious about meeting Steban. It's touching, sort of. Steban's group meets only at night, in an old room in his apartments here. It just so happens you're in luck. Their weekly meeting is tonight. Poke your snout around sometime after 10 p.m. and you might just find them.
What I feel like there's a catch.
Oh, smart pig. Because there is. See, Steban's a bit on the paranoid side. He's got all these mega secret passphrases to keep out infiltrators and the like. You can't join the meeting without one.
Oh, that's fine. It's probably this thing that I don't remember.
Huh. I guess this little piggy has done his legwork after all. That's enough. Off with you then.
Okay, see ya. Monochrome Rainbow Story tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers during a period of the ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. That sounds like a downer.
As you approach the metal grill, you can hear several voices having what appears to be an animated discussion. This must be it. Beyond this door lies the beating heart of radical communism in Martinez. Somehow, the night air softens the smell of trash and sea brine. As the breeze pulls through the canvas like a shuttle through a loom, you catch a hint of something unexpected. Something earthy, warm, and burnt. The acrid smell of failure. No, that's just slightly burnt coffee. A smell you would recognize anywhere.
Well, if the coffee's burnt, that is a failure.
Just look at this pig, sniffing about after hours.
You said that. Why didn't you say the secret door is right behind you?
Must have slipped my mind. You know how it goes.
The metal grill is cool to the touch.
Try to listen.
You can make out at least two separate voices. Two voices, both male, approximately early 20s.
Okay, they're our age.
Careful with those now.
Because of course, Raphael's a very young, easygoing cop.
I have it. It's going to work. I can feel it.
Alright, bang.
The clang of metal reverberates all along the scaffolding. The voices coming from the other side fall silent.
Who's there? Is that you, Maurice?
Are you some communist? I'm looking for some communists.
Who said communist? Did we say communist?
Listen, I already built like 0.0001% of communism, but now I need to organize. Can you help?
For a moment, silence.
What's the passphrase?
Friggin' remember, yeah.
There's no response. You begin to wonder whether they've slipped out some back way. No, they're still there. You can feel them back there.
All right. The key's taped to the back of the door frame. Just make sure you put it back when you're done, or we'll all be locked out.
Yeah, I'll probably just keep it.
And do watch the concrete. It just kind of falls away, in places.
Have fun at your underground meeting.
Technically,
pig.
it's upper ground.
Hope it's a blast.
Because we're on like the 3rd floor.
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. Their attentions are fixed on whatever it is they're stacking in the middle of the floor.
With the statue of us.
Matchboxes, it appears.
I think it's holding, Alexis.
It is. It's holding.
Maker?
Careful, careful.
No, communism's been destroyed.
Damn, hardly any difference.
The young man shakes his head, then looks up at you with barely concealed irritation.
You're late.
You should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
Why are you sitting like that? Don't sit like that.
One leader and one follower. The most ancient power dynamic. There's a great deal of tension in this young man's shoulders, more than someone his age should bear. Meanwhile, his companion inclines toward him, eager to catch every word that dribbles from his friend's mouth. Don't let them see you flustered, sire. Play along.
Apologies, comrades. I had to make sure I wasn't being tarried by our class enemies.
We all have to take precautions, especially during these delicate times. What matters is that you've made it, and that you've done the reading.
Yeah, we read all the stuff.
Uh-oh. No one said anything about reading. You'll just have to wing this one.
Yeah, the reading. I've definitely done the reading. I know all the theory and whatnot.
You have? Excellent. Let's hear your critique then.
Well, there are too many words.
Too many. Words?
Yeah, leftists, they put too many words when they talk about stuff. The writer cut a few, I'm sure it'd be fine.
It doesn't sound like he's done the reading, Steban.
Well, this is getting awkward. I'm not sure what you're expecting to find here then.
There's profound consternation in his voice. You suspect it's about something bigger than your not having done the reading.
Maybe he can explain himself.
Well, what are you doing here?
In the most general sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Really? Didn't look like it.
Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it.
But more specifically, we are running a reading group. The most rigorous and theoretically advanced materialist reading group in Martinaise.
Comrade Steban is a great discussion leader. One of the best at the university.
It's obvious they take this group of theirs extremely seriously. Whatever you do, don't compare it to a common book.
So I can square off in theory combat?
We have been known to get into some spirited debates, but it's always in service of our larger intellectual and ideological project.
Precisely. We are not interested in senseless parroting. We like to read critically.
Uh-huh.
Within the contours of Mazovian historical materialism, of course.
I didn't realize they taught radical Mazovian theory in the universities.
Huh. As though you can call that problem teaching.
One thing you learn quickly at university is that you're not going to find a real education in any lecture hall or discussion seminar.
We are post-attendance, basically.
Exactly. The only worthwhile part of the so-called École Normale de Revachol is the library. That's where we've made our greatest critical strides.
So what do you read?
We study all the foundational texts of Mazovian theory, of course. Just last week we finished the second volume of Puncher and Watman's Innocence of Capital.
Truly extraordinary.
And before that we spent 6 weeks on State and Plasm.
Uh-oh. You can feel your attention span rapidly deteriorating.
Come on, man. I got so much volition. Force yourself to keep listening.
We've also read Wertmüller's The Megastructure of History.
Level up.
And before that, Real and Reality.
Arblar's Une Paix Infernale.
The original Fisdale translation. Not that watered down revisionist garbage.
Yeah, obviously.
These two deserve the Order of Honor for bullshitting. There's no way they've actually read all this stuff.
Obviously.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on the theories of Ignace Nilsson and his followers, especially the inframaterialists.
What's an inframaterialist?
You're not familiar with him? It's pretty advanced stuff. You may not be ready for it yet, Gendarme.
Hey, only that other guy can call us Gendarme. Hey, who's Ignace Nielsen?
Only Krasmazov's most trusted lieutenant, the evangelist of the revolution.
Oh, that's Kim.
And the founding father of the People's Republic of Samara.
That's Kim.
It's hard to overstate how unimpressed he is that you've never heard of this world historical individual.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. It was Nilsson who first postulated the existence of ideological plasm, which forms the basis of inframaterialist theory.
The young man sighs. His companion looks about furtively.
Where's the rest of the reading group?
What do you mean? This is the reading group.
Shouldn't a group have, like, more people in it?
We're in something of a rebuilding phase.
Some of our former comrades didn't have the ideological fortitude our work demands.
What happened to him?
Intellectual attrition is maybe the best way to describe it. Felix said he couldn't keep up with the reading on top of his classwork. And Susanna wanted to read text other than Mazovian theory. Like novels, if you can believe it.
Novels? What the hell?
See? Even the gendarme gets it.
We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately the current intellectual climate is pretty hostile to inframaterialist thought. These days, if you're on the left, the ascendant schools are the Godwallians and their iconoclasts.
Iconoclasts.
Don't forget about Maurice and the turnips.
Right. Then there was the whole turnip debacle.
Whatever this turnip business is about, one thing is perfectly clear. These young students have a much deeper understanding of communism than you do.
Yeah, probably.
You could learn a thing or two from them. If you can convince them, you're one of them.
What's that about turnips?
It's an unfortunate story. You see, Our ex-comrade Maurice is something of an economist.
Okay.
He's studying macro and microeconomics.
Scandalous.
Right. So a few weeks ago we were discussing the extra physical capabilities of the revolutionary state. And Maurice said, what were his exact words, Ulex's?
It was unbelievable. He said, turnips don't care if they are grown by communists, moralists, or Vulcan. They grow just the same.
I mean, I guess, but what does that have to do with anything?
Basically, he was rejecting the whole foundation of inframaterialist theory.
What's that theory?
What is this inframaterialist business they keep blathering about? You've never heard of anything like it.
Remind me, what does inframaterialist theory say about turnips?
Simply that under suitably revolutionary conditions, crop yields naturally increase relative to non-revolutionary crops, which Morris somehow has the gall to deny.
I'm gonna be honest, that's some dumb shit you just said. You just said some dumb shit. Now, like, maybe you could argue that, oh, under the overall production would increase under a different economic model. Maybe, but the actual turnips are not gonna be like, oh, the communist planted me, I'm gonna grow harder. That's some dumb shit. You just posted cringe, sir. You posted cringe.
Susanna said that he has been hanging out with some non-communists lately.
I don't think that's what communists believe.
For us,
that the
question
turnips
boiled
grow
down to,
better.
If you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nielsen and inframaterialist theory, why are you in the reading group?
Yeah, I get what you mean, man.
Of course you do. It's pretty basic stuff.
You expelled Maurice from the reading group over an argument about turnips?
Well, it wasn't so much that he was expelled.
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
But like, you actually think that the turnips are gonna grow better if a communist plants them? It's not like a metaphor, because it sounds like a metaphor. It sounds like a metaphor for like a more free economic model would result in greater production if the workers are invested in the fruits of the production. That kind of makes some sense, I suppose. But turnips are going to grow at the same speed. So, what's an econo card?
For starters, they love talking about beans.
I like beans.
Oh, sure. But econo cards are obsessed with beans. They love thinking about beans. They love counting beans. But most of all, they love building models to predict how many beans there'll be in the future.
Okay. Bean boys?
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
It's so funny because by saying by far the most bean-centric, that implies that there are several other schools of communism focused on beans. These are just the most bean-centric, which is very funny.
Ah yes, the much maligned bean counters, ensconced in their think tanks and high-rises, believing they can save the world through a series of incremental, assiduously technocratic reforms.
Are the beans a metaphor?
If only. They've got all the beans accounted for in their asset sheets, their quarterly budgets, their future projections. But for some reason, there are never enough beans to go around. So we've just got to cut our bean rations in half.
Okay.
And next thing you know, there are budget cuts, so now we've got to cut the bean rations in half again. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists, but in reality they're just liberals with hard-ons for spreadsheets.
Go back.
For starters.
First thing's beans?
That's right. Iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They're by far...
Ah yes, the much...
Yeah, what's wrong with making progress through moderate economic reforms? This is when they shoot us in the head.
Believing they can...
Oh, please. There's nothing moderate about their love for counting beans. If I were a Gottwaldian, I would probably diagnose them with Bohnenfixierung. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists.
What's a Gottwaldian?
They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists and intellectual midgets. Typical Gottwalders, in other words.
It's okay for Uli to say that, because his dad is from Gottwald.
What's so depressing about their theories?
The Gottwald school believe that intellectuals as a class are incapable of sparking revolutionary change. So all they can do is critique capitalism from inside itself.
I mean, it is a little depressing, but it's maybe true.
In other words, they have lost faith in their own relevance.
That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works of criticism that make you want to commit suicide.
Sounds miserable.
It is miserable. That's probably why they're always committing suicide. You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. But scratch the patina and you'll see beneath that they're just depressed liberals who've read too many books.
Yes, every leftist is actually a liberal in disguise. What about liberals? Are they liberals too?
Of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberals are mouth-foaming reactionaries.
Yes, I can agree with that.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists. You need an X-ray machine to tell the difference.
What about Cindy?
Cindy is... how to describe her role?
Something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we can't call her a member of the group per se.
That doesn't stop her from using a room for studio space, of course.
Can I talk about something else?
Go ahead.
What are you doing with the matchboxes?
The young man frowns at the little pile of boxes on the floor.
Nothing, just messing around until the meeting started.
They're watching those matchboxes awfully intently for two guys who are just messing around. It's almost as though they were trying to create the most unstable structure they could, with predictable results.
Reading group got new members?
We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this whole process with essays and presentations on assigned topics. But given that we have some extra seating at the moment, I guess we could be convinced to expedite an application or two.
Stefan, you can't be serious. For gendarme?
I am serious. As materialists, we've got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, he'll still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process. Assuming he's even still interested, that is.
Voracious bibliophilic paratorn. I have no... I mean, I get what that means, but I don't know what that has to... what that relates to. Hey, 1 second. I gotta put some shoes on.
We're here most every night.
Sleep well, gendarme.
You stay there. I gotta put some shoes on. These give minus composure. Anything else that gives composure? I don't think so. I don't think we have 3 things that give composure. I think it's just our pants, which you already have equipped. Alright. Bottom of the pot, an isle of black sludge rises from a shadowy sea. Under the cobblestones, communism. No war but class war. Cindy's, no doubt. Could this be the Phasmid? No, probably not.
The gendarme returns.
Alright. First things first. Oh, point at the art supplies. I'm guessing these pots belong to Cindy?
Yeah, it's hers. She just sort of moved it all in a few months ago.
She said if she's going to make truly radical art, she needs a suitably radical workspace.
Okay.
And I don't think she could afford rent at an actual studio.
You like art?
Oh, sure. It's definitely interesting, I would say. I guess you could call her latest stuff a sort of counter-bourgeoisie calligraphy. She's got a real taste for radical slogans.
It's too bad she hasn't developed the theoretical foundation to do truly radical work.
I think she'll get there, though. She's still looking for a subject equal to her ambitions.
What's the deal with this place?
The deal? At a fundamental level, I guess you could call it the shattered bones of a dream crushed by capital.
That's really good, Steban. You should save that for an essay.
Thanks, Uli. When the idea is sound, the words just sort of flow.
But what is this place?
It's an old construction site. They've been trying to restore these apartments for years. But as you can see, they haven't made much progress.
His friend yawns, evidently bored by literal reality.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's there to be scared of? You've really been cracking the books these last few days.
Can we?
You can go toe to intellectual toe with any reading group in Martinez.
Of course, we know all the stuff.
Now, chin up. You've got this.
Okay, crack your knuckles.
Oh, you want to start now? Sure, we can manage that.
You've caught him off balance. The momentum is already in your favor.
Go ahead and take a seat. Since we haven't had time to prepare an exhaustive questionnaire, I think we can keep this interview more freeform. Why don't you tell us a bit about the books you're interested in? And we'll just see where the conversation goes.
Okay. I'm more into practical books, books that help me understand the real world.
Aha, a real old-school pedestrian materialist.
Yeah.
All right, we'll play along.
Mm-hmm.
So what sort of practical works are we talking about?
I read a book on paleocentric medicine.
Interesting. I always thought that stuff was common folk
Shut up.
superstitions, repackaged as bourgeois spiritualism. But maybe I've been overly dismissive.
The entity's gonna eat you.
This is a good start. They're starting to loosen up. You feel relaxed and in control. Soon, you're debating whether a decommodified spirituality is even possible under capitalism.
I don't know, maybe?
Probably not, is the answer. Which isn't to say it isn't sometimes still useful.
Yeah, it seems like a good way to bilk desperate people for money when they don't have access to real healthcare.
Ogotwalian will tell you that it's an inescapable fact of modernity, that we can only repackage our collective history in increasingly ludicrous forms.
Thank God we are no good Wallians.
These kids are eating out of your hand, practically. Another quarter of an hour disappears. The questions come rapid fire, but you have an answer for every one. Now you can sense things starting to slow down. The interview must be reaching an inflection point.
Don't you think, though, that you can only really understand current events if you have a firm background in history and political theory?
I read this book called The Greatest Innocence and I got every question wrong.
Don't think I'm familiar with it. Give us a quick summary, if you don't mind.
Oh, fuck, I don't know, man. There was some people.
Now's your chance to end this interview on a high note. You quickly gloss Lopez de Fuego's essential argument, peppering it with your own commentary and asides.
Dolores, she scares us.
Like a river emptying into the sea, the discussion winds its way toward the character of the innocence herself.
This is the part where we say we don't even really know what an innocence is, despite having read the book.
But then, any critical account of Dolores Day's reign has to seriously reckon with her atrocities in Margaretania and La Vuelta during the Mesque secession, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know. This guy thought she was pretty cool.
Total nonsense. The greatest thing Dolores Day ever did was get blasted by her own terrier.
Oh.
If he wants a real critical history, he's got to read on the material conditions of the
Oh no,
Mirovan
did we blow it?
Boilermakers.
Because the other question, both answers seem kind of bad.
He's so good. Brutally revelatory. In any case, I think we've heard enough. We could use someone with your perspective in the group, with just a bit more theoretical foundation. I think you'll be making real contributions.
Yes, I would say he's got serious potential at least.
And then we let it slip that we're a cop and they kill us.
And with that, welcome to the most ideologically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez. Here's your first assignment. It's an overview of inframaterialist theory. A little basic, as you'll see, but one has to start somewhere.
Okay.
Come back when you're done. We'll be here pretty much every night after 10 p.m. Do be sure to take your time with the reading. We'll be eager
I'm gonna
to
be
hear
honest, sir. We will probably never see you again.
The young man frowned.
Oh, nothing.
Their watch is almost with predictable.
I guess we could try and read it real quick.
The cover of this pocket-sized volume features a swirl of orange, yellow, and green. The title, A Brief Look at Inframaterialism, is set in an authoritative yet approachable serif font. No. These are terrible colors. They're like apricots.
Oh, also we should have ended the video.
On the inside jacket flap, you find a brief summary. What is inframaterialism? A highly theoretical branch of Mazovian communism? A collection of mystical ramblings by a discredited revolutionary? Or possibly both?
Ooh.
This brief look, TM, introduces readers to one of this century's most fascinating and misunderstood theories in a concise, jargon-free manner.
Is there no slightly longer glance TM series?
The back of the book contains 4 or 5 pages of primary and secondary sources, but you need access to a university library.
That doesn't seem like much. How big is this book?
In other words, this guide is the only source you're likely to find. You turn to the table of contents. The guide itself is divided into several sections with seemingly esoteric titles like Effects of Plasm on Root Vegetables and Mental Projection.
Ooh, mental
and
projection.
Transference. There's also a brief introduction about the life of Ignis Nielsen.
Okay, we'll read it next video. Because we're in an hour, so we will call it here. Next time, we'll, I guess, read this book, try and talk to these guys. If they disappear, because I didn't say, like, at 2 o'clock time, like, something happens. I feel like I remember seeing a tooltip about that. So they may go away at 2. But if they're still here, we'll keep talking to our commie buddies. I don't really know if we'll be able to, like, what this is all going to lead to. We're getting a little XP out of it. That's nice. And then we're going to progress to potentially the final day. I don't know. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.